Hello dear students, I am Disha, your science teacher. Today we will be discussing one of the topics from your second chapter, that is nutrition in animals. As you can see on the screen, there is a diagram of digestive system in human beings. Now the process of digestion in human beings is a very long process. It consists of various interconnected organs which form the alimentary canal, or we call it the digestive tract. Let us first see these organs. It starts from mouth, which is also known as buccal cavity. Then there is esophagus, which is commonly known as the food pipe. There is stomach. There is small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. The food slowly passes through all these organs and gets digested at various levels. Apart from these organs, there are various other glands which are associated with the digestion. Let us see these glands. There are salivary glands present in the mouth. There is liver, which is reddish brown in color, and there is pancreas, which is yellowish in color. These glands secrete digestive juices. They help in converting complex substances of food into simpler substances. The alimentary canal, along with all these associated glands, form the digestive system. Now let us see where the process of digestion starts. The process starts from the mouth. You take in food through your mouth and chew it with the teeth and break it down into smaller pieces. Now this process of taking in food from the mouth is called ingestion. Now apart from teeth, there is also one muscular organ present inside the mouth which is known as tongue. There are also salivary glands present inside the mouth. When you take in food in your mouth, the salivary glands secrete the digestive juice known as saliva into your mouth. This saliva helps to moisten your food, and it also starts breaking down the food into simple sugar. The tongue helps the food to get mixed with the saliva. Also, it helps in the swallowing of the food. The swallowed food passes through the esophagus and reaches the stomach. The food passes through the esophagus with a movement which is called peristalsis. It is the relaxation and contraction that is seen inside the esophagus while the food is being swallowed. Once the food reaches the stomach, it starts getting digested inside it. Let us understand stomach. Stomach has a thick walled bag. It is shaped like a J, and it is the widest part in the alimentary canal. Food remains inside the stomach for 3 to 4 hours. Now inside the stomach there is hydrochloric acid which helps in the digestion of food, and in the inner walls of the stomach there is mucus present. Mucus is the thick sticky substance which helps to protect the inner wall of the stomach, and the acid present in the stomach helps in killing the bacteria that enter along with the food and makes the medium in the stomach acidic, which helps in the digestion of food. The digestive juices inside the stomach break down the food into simpler substances. After it has been churned and digested in the stomach, the food passes into the small intestine. Now small intestine is the longest organ in the alimentary canal. It is about 7.5 meters long, and it is highly coiled and arranged inside the body. It receives the digestive secretions from liver and pancreas. The liver is reddish brown in color, and it is the largest gland present in the human body. It is situated in the upper part of the abdomen. It secretes bile juice that is being stored in the sac-like structure called gallbladder, which is just below the liver. This bile juice secreted by liver plays an important role in the digestion of fats. Pancreas is a large cream-colored gland located just below the stomach. It secretes pancreatic juice which acts on carbohydrates, fats and proteins and changes them into simpler substances. The partially digested food now reaches in the lower part of the smaller intestine, where the process of digestion of components of food gets complete. The carbohydrates get broken down into simple sugars, or we call it glucose. Fats are converted into their simpler forms called fatty acids and glycerol, and proteins are converted into amino acids. Apart from the digestion in small intestine, it also has the process of absorption taking place inside it. The digested food can now pass into the blood vessels through the walls of the intestine. This process is termed as absorption of food. The inner walls of the small intestine has thousands of finger-like outgrowths. They are called villi. Now these villi increase the surface area for the absorption of digested food. Each villus has a network of thin and small blood vessels close to its surface. The surface of the villi absorbs the digested food materials and passes on to the blood vessels. Then the absorbed substances are transported through the blood vessels to all the other organs of the body, where they would be used to build complex substances such as proteins, which is required by the body. This process is called assimilation. Now the food which is being undigested and which is unabsorbed will enter into the large intestine. The large intestine is wider and shorter as compared to the small intestine. It is about 1.5 meters in length. Now the function of large intestine is to absorb water along with the important salts and minerals from the undigested food. After the absorption of water and salts, the remaining waste product is stored in the rectum, which is the end of the large intestine, and it remains there as some semi-solid feces. This fecal matter is then removed through anus from time to time. This process of removal of fecal matter through anus is called egestion. So this is how we saw that the food passes through various organs at various intervals and it gets digested into various steps, and the digestion gets complete at anus. So we can say that the process is divided into various different steps, starting from ingestion, then digestion, absorption of food, assimilation and egestion. So today we saw the digestion in human beings. Thank you, students.